Let's talk about a technique that doesn't get a lot of attention anymore, the float and fly. Now, some of you may have seen this before, and some of you may have been fishing it for years, but I'm going to be sharing some tips with you guys that's going to help you catch a lot of bass when the water temperature gets really cold like it is right now. My name's Josh with Josh and Hunter's Adventures, and welcome back to the channel. All right, guys, so let's talk about the float and fly. I'm going to be going over the jig. I'm going to be going over my bobber setup, which may be different from everybody else, but I'm still using it this way, and I still catch bass on it. I'm going to talk about the rod setup, the reel, and the line. So let's go ahead and get straight into it, guys. But if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. Okay, guys, so float and fly. This bait has probably been around for a really long time. I've been fishing it for probably 15-20 years now, and I catch some really nice bass on it. We're going to share some footage with you guys of some smallmouth catches on this bait right here. So let's talk about the jig first thing. The jig is basically a very small jig, like a 1/16 ounce head with basically some duck feather and a little bit of craft fur, basically, is all it is right there. And this just happens to be chartreuse with tied this one up with just some red thread there. Now, a lot of these you can still buy these at a lot of places. A lot of companies are still selling them, but they're really easy to tie. Like I said, it don't take a lot of duck feather, and it doesn't take a lot of skill either, so that's something really good about this. But like I said, it's just a small little 1/16 ounce head, and I rig mine. Now, there's a lot of ways people rig bobbers. There's a lot of old timers that'll weight them and different things like that. But for me, I just run a simple slip bobber setup. So if you're familiar with a slip bobber setup, basically, if you're not, it's just got a hole all the way through it. There's a weight right here on the bottom of it, and then on it, the line, which you cannot see, is a bead, which will just fall down basically, and that just prevents the bobber from going all the way up past the bobber stop. And I can show you guys right here really quick. So there is the bead, and then the bobber stop is on up the line. So basically what I do is I try to set mine up at different depths depending on when I'm trying to locate the fish and try to figure out the depth that they're in. I'll normally start around 8 foot, and sometimes you have to go all the way to 14 foot to be able to catch them. But like I said, this bait is designed to fish very slowly. You throw it out there on the bobber, and you just basically work it really slowly. You're going to see in the video when I'm fishing it is I'm just barely shaking the rod tip and turning the reel handle, and I'm just basically bringing it back to the boat that way. And it's just sitting in that column, whatever depth you have it sitting at in the water column. And a lot of times you're going to catch fish that are suspended, and they're also going to see this from a long way in clear water. I've noticed that a lot of times you'll catch them, they'll come way off the bottom for this bait. So let's talk about our setup. Now, I throw mine on this is a very old rod, but this is a Falcon noodle rod. This is like 11 or 12 foot rod. You're going to see in the video it's really long rod, but the reason for this is because a lot of times you have to throw, if you don't throw a slip bobber, then you're going to be throwing a very long leader, and that's the purpose of this long rod. And plus, like I said, you're throwing a 1/16 ounce jig head, so that's very important, is the longer rod. But it's got a lot of play in it, but it's still got backbone in it, as you're going to see in the video. Line, I use strictly 4-pound test. I use trilene. You can use whatever you want, but I use 4-pound test grain line, and just any type of reel, whatever you got. This is a Daiwa in a 3000 size. Yes, it's probably a little bit big for what I'm doing, but it works really well for me. But this is a great it's really fun to catch them on, honestly. It's such light tackle. That rod's so flimsy, as you're going to see in the video, but like I said, it's got enough backbone to still catch those good smallmouth. One of the smallmouth that you're going to see in the video was a 319, I think. So it's a really good bait to catch big smallmouth on. But like I said, it's a very small jig head with a slip bobber and then 4-pound test line. You just got to figure out the depth that you need to put it in. Start out at about 8 foot and then work your way down that way. Fish it on points, bluffs, rocky banks, places like that. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and check out some of the footage on the floating fly here, some smallmouth that I've caught here on the last couple of days on this. Yeah.
Big one? What is it?
I don't know. He just now figured out he was hooked.
Don't horse him.
I think it's a dang catfish, man. Better it's a giant smallmouth.
I saw brown, so.
No, giant. Oh gosh, get him. Holy cow. I mean, I'm talking 4. Get a picture of that in its mouth. At least 3.5.
Gonna hold it.
Get my camera. Gosh, dude, that's got to be 4.
319.
319. Show it into the camera and let it go. Gosh, on the old floating fly. Yeah, big smallmouth. Another good smallie. Pretty one right there. How fat that fish is. On the old floating fly. Thank you, buddy. Right off that point. Alright guys, there you have it, the floating fly. What a fun way to catch wintertime bass on this little small 1/16 ounce jig head, duck feather and a little bit of craft fur, and you're going to go out and catch some really nice smallmouth. It's a really fun bite, guys. Give it a try. Go out there and you can buy these, like I said, in the stores, or you can make them yourself with little small jig heads. They're not hard to do at all. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. If you got any questions or comments, go down in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer it the best that I can. Again, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you know when we put out videos. Until next time, this is Josh with Josh and Hunter's Adventures. Thanks for watching.